Do you sometimes find yourself in the midst of a completely nonsensical and utterly frustrating conversation or argument? Is it usually with the same person? In today's video, we're going to be discussing the secret weapon that covert narcissists use against you. Crazy making conversation. By the end of this video, you're going to know, first of all, what the hell is going on, but more importantly, how not to get sucked into their mind-bending, energy draining, and very toxic vortex. Let's get started. Now, before I begin this video, I just want to quickly mention that the free one-to-one consult with either myself or a member of my team for the Freedom Class program is open. So be sure to click the link in the description below to sign up for your free call to see if we'd be a good fit for working together. And if you're new here, welcome. Please take a second to say hello and introduce yourself in the comment section below. And be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos throughout the week. My name is Tamie Joyce. I'm an empowerment life coach and creator of the Freedom Class. I help people take their power back and heal from painful family of origin and romantic relationship patterns so they can finally live their best life in peace, confidence, and freedom. So let's talk about the secret weapon that covert narcissists love to use against us. Crazy making conversation, often referred to as word salad or narc speak. In other words, nonsensical, disordered speech with a complete lack of semantic fluidity and permanent resolution to whatever is being discussed or addressed. It has one main purpose: to throw you off balance and confuse you, while simultaneously making you wrong and them right at all costs. And I mean all costs, including your well-being, right? Your sense of well-being, your sense of peace, your peace of mind, your peace of heart, to the exclusion of any of that at all costs. If they can get you to fight back, react, overreact, or want to explain and defend yourself, now they've got you. Now, here's the thing. It's important to understand that covert narcissists, otherwise known as the fragile, vulnerable, or shy narcissist, will often present as being very timid, meek, demure, maybe a little insecure, maybe a lot insecure, and certainly self-effacing even, in addition to being the perpetual victim. Now, that said, they can also present very much as the altruistic or hero/savior persona, but can and will pull the victim card anytime it serves them in terms of being able to manipulate emotions, perceptions, or outcomes. This is the game they're playing. So the bottom line is this: do not be fooled by the timid, shy, reserved, meek, insecure, gentle victim, hero, or savior before you. There's absolutely nothing gentle or heroic about what's going on with this person. Subtle and passive as the aggression may be, make no mistake, this is emotional and psychological violence that you're dealing with, and it will take a toll on you. And you'll much more easily be able to spot these folks, see them coming in advance, when you realize that in addition to playing the victim or the hero or the savior role, they are also the great enablers, enabling others in their destructive, toxic, dysfunctional behavior. Works for the covert narcissist, they get to be the victim of it, while also insisting on being enabled themselves. And when you don't or won't enable them in their dysfunctional nonsense, you've got a great, big, huge, childish, spiteful, and vindictive problem on your hands: the covert narcissist. Now let's have a closer look at the crazy making conversation that covert narcissists can and will use against you. For starters, you're going to be dealing with a complete lack of logic. The first and most obvious sign of narc speak in action is, not surprisingly, the nonsense they spew. It's the epitome of verbal chaos. You'll find yourself trying to make sense of a bunch of unrelated words, concepts, and stories, including contradictions and random irrelevant comments that are thrown at you. And the purpose, the very deliberate intent and purpose of this, is to confuse you and make it utterly impossible for you to actually hold them accountable for their appalling attitudes and behavior. Again, the point of all of this insanity that you're dealing with is to throw you off balance and make you wrong and them right at all costs, period. Next will be circular conversation. It's not just about absurd semantics as it relates to words. It's also very much about being caught in conversational hell that is absolutely reflective of their disordered mind. Linearity, going from point A to B to C, is something that a covert narcissist will absolutely avoid in conversation or discussion, especially if a topic is being raised that might somehow challenge them or might potentially be shining a light on or holding them accountable for their dysfunctional attitudes and behavior. By frustrating the logical progression of a point of view from A to B to C, the point is never made. But more importantly, accountability completely avoided, which is the point, right? The key tactic being used here is circular, mind-bending, energy-draining conversation that goes nowhere and nowhere fast. And the whole point of this exercise is not just to frustrate your argument, but more importantly, frustrate and exhaust you into submission. So you ultimately give up and make no further attempts to either confront them or resolve the issue. And this also serves to point out, to communicate with crystal clear clarity that you are the problem, which of course is always the bottom line when we're dealing with a narcissist. Now, another thing you'll be dealing with is overgeneralizations. During these crazy making conversations, you're going to hear a lot of always, never, and everyone statements. It'll sound like this. You never give me the benefit of the doubt. You're never on my side. You're always so sensitive. You always overreact. Everyone thinks you're crazy. Sound familiar? Projection and blaming also goes into these crazy making conversations. Projection is a subconscious survival strategy that people who land on the spectrum of destructive narcissism use to unburden themselves. They unload what they cannot own, accept, or acknowledge about themselves and literally project their own flaws and shortcomings onto another. By projecting onto you, they get to attribute their bad behavior to you, their character defects, their distorted perceptions of reality, their dysfunctional ways of thinking and being in the world to you. And you know it's happening when their own character traits are being flung at you like mud. It sounds like this. You're so selfish. You're an arrogant control freak. All you do is lie and deny. What's wrong with you? You're mentally unstable. You need psychiatric help. Again, sound familiar? In addition, any and all relationship challenges, struggles, issues, whatever, must be someone else's fault. In other words, yours. And as I mentioned before, they will go to any lengths to make sure that the problem is you. No matter how absurd the finger pointing may sound, you will be blamed for everything. And of course, this list would not be complete without mentioning denial and gaslighting. The truth is, there is no concrete evidence, solid and irrefutable enough that the narcissist, in their delusional and irrational confidence and arrogance, won't deny. They'll make bold statements 1 second, and in the very next sentence proclaim, I never said that. They'll do something right in front of you and look you dead in the eye and pronounce that never happened. You may be looking at irrefutable proof like a written document in their own hand, or even video footage of them caught cold, and they'll still assert, it wasn't me. All this denial is about denying reality that they can't cope with, the reality of who and what they really are. It's gaslighting in action. And don't kid yourself, it has the added benefit. Repeatedly denying facts has the added benefit of causing you to doubt and question your own perception of reality, your own truth, your own sanity, which is exactly where they want you. It's all about winning and losing with these people. Do yourself a favor and learn to listen to the language of a covert narcissist with as much detachment as you can muster. There is nothing that will issue forth from their mouth that will be even remotely about finding solutions or common ground or nurturing a healthy, functional relationship for both parties. Instead, their verbiage is going to be all about how right they are and how wrong, bad, and inferior you are. Period. End of story. Every interaction with a destructive narcissist is about competition. No matter what you say, no matter how sincerely you say it, no matter how good intended you are, what a good place you may be coming from, again, no matter how sincere or genuine you may be, no matter how much blood, sweat, and tears, time, and energy you pour into this crazy-making conversation and communication, you cannot and will not win. That is the bottom line. In their distorted perception of reality, if they can make you wrong, again, don't forget, at all costs, right? Including your well-being, your peace of heart, your peace of mind, at all costs. If they can make you wrong about everything, then it's clear you're obviously wrong about any legitimate concerns you might have about their appalling, destructive, and dysfunctional attitudes and behavior. And that's really what this is all about. So what's the solution? Well, first of all, it's important to understand that crazy-making conversation and all this word salad going on is actually used quite deliberately and intentionally by the covert narcissist. It's no accident. It's used to manipulate you. It's used as a form of gaslighting, deliberately intended to cause you to question yourself and your own perceptions of reality, your own sanity, your own truth, as opposed to continuing to question them. As I said earlier, the whole point of all of this insanity is to throw you off balance, keep you off balance, get you confused, keep you confused. This way, you feel crazy. You feel like maybe I am the problem. And the bottom line ends up being they get to be right, they get to avoid accountability, and they walk away feeling superior. Also recognize that there is no amount of questioning or sincere, heartfelt, empathic discussion with a covert narcissist that's going to lead to positive outcomes or permanent resolution or change. Not gonna happen. That is not what these people are about, and certainly not what they are capable of. Therefore, the only sane way forward is to absolutely stop questioning and second guessing yourself. Hold on to your truth. And one way or another, embark on a serious healing and recovery path for yourself moving forward so that sooner or later, one way or another, you can set yourself free from this very sick, dysfunctional, painful, frustrating, destructive dynamic. And with that, I'm going to call it a wrap. My friends, I sincerely hope you found this helpful today. If you liked what you heard, please give me a like, drop a comment, and let me know what your biggest takeaway was, and share it with your friends if you think they'd find it helpful. And again, if you're new here, a great big huge welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos throughout the week. And as I mentioned at the top of the video, we do have some spots available in the calendar this week for the free one-to-one consult with either myself or a member of my team for the Freedom Class program. So be sure to click the link in the description below to sign up for your free call to see if we'd be a good fit for working together. And as always, I will leave you with this. Know your value and unlock your freedom. Much love. Bye for now.